Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, the podcast, and this is episode 36. I'm calling this an emergency podcast because there was something that happened in the, sneaker community within in the Philippines. They had a Manila Expo, and they brought together one of the best sneaker photographers on Instagram. He is Andrew Dutton. They brought him along. I wanted to chat with him. I wanted to get his insight, get his opinion on what Manila and the Philippines was like. And I myself have a connection to the Philippines. For anyone who didn't know that, my wife is Filipino, so I went to Manila in November of last year, and I wanted to get Andy's insight, what his thoughts were about Manila, and just the overall experience and how he came to this great event. So thank you so much, Andy, for jumping onto this podcast. Really do appreciate it. I know you're a busy man, summer holidays over there. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. We got back, last week, I think it was, from the Philippines. So recovered from the jet lag and that time difference, man. That was something that was was a little bit crazy.
Yeah, you had I think it was, you said 15 hours. So you basically left, you started flying and then landed an hour after you took off.
Time travel. Felt like I was in Back to the Future.
Yeah, that must have been wild. At least you had like some sort of internet on the plane, so you were able to kind of stay a little bit. You weren't just completely flying and didn't know what was going on in the world. Like, if another COVID outbreak happened, you would have known about it. I'm sure that
Right.
I've actually wondered about that. Off topic, I reckon people have actually that's happened to people over in the last few years. They've done that, what trip you did, and then just had no idea what's going on, and something big happened, like 9/11 or something like that. Man, it's
Right.
just I often wonder about that because I don't take long flights. Australia is kind of big, but we don't have long flights. So I've always wondered how you recover from a flight like that, and how was the trip from America to the Philippines?
I mean, it was a little rough. Like, I've never taken a flight that long. I've only flown like here in the United States, so nothing too long. So the flight there was 15 hours, and so it's like when you're on a plane, like, cool, you can sleep for a little bit, and then you like wake up. It's like, oh, we're almost there. You do that, and you wake up, and you're like, oh, I still have 12 more hours. Like, what am I going to do with my time? So,
yeah,
a lot of pacing around, the aisles of the airplane, and trying to find some sleep.
yeah.
Watch movies, videos, and stuff. But man, it's just weird.
Anything good on the plane you watched? I know there's been a few good movies out, but did you pick up on anything?
I watched. I downloaded a bunch of episodes of this series that I'm watching on Apple TV Plus. That one with Owen Wilson, where he's like the golf pro coach to this kid. That one was pretty fun. Binged all of that, and then I watched. What's the name of that one? It's not The Accountant. It's the Amateur, the one with Rami Malek.
Yeah,
he works with the government and like tries to figure out the people who killed his wife. That one was pretty good too. So.
Yeah. No, that's I have heard about that. Rami Malek's a great actor. Guy who played Freddie Mercury. For anyone who didn't know, Freddie Mercury in that Queen doco, and he did Mr. Robot and all those sort of things. And I think he's an Oscar winner. I think so. But yeah,
I think so too. I think he may have won one for the
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. My trip, just for context, was only about 9 hours, and we only had 2 hours of difference. So it wasn't too bad, that like the difference in the time difference. So whenever I was calling back home, it was like, oh, we're only a little bit behind. You don't have to think about that too much. But man, it's a different culture, isn't it? Like I was shocked. I didn't really know what to expect. My wife has been living in Australia for like 15, 16 years. So, a long time of separation. But what was your first kind of initial impression when you hopped off the plane?
I mean, that it was humid. It was very, very. I'm not used to that here in Utah. I mean, it's super dry climate here, and so you feel that humidity as soon as you get off the plane.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like huge culture shock. Just, I don't know. I've been around a lot of different kinds of people over the years, and I think it was just more cool just to kind of just soak it in. Like, I just wanted to be like a sponge and just kind of see how everything was over there. We weren't over there for that long. We were only there for 3.5, 4 days. So we didn't really get to like stay as long as we wanted to. But the first thing I noticed about the Philippines is just everybody is so kind. Like, everyone is so nice, so generous, and so thankful for everything. And that was awesome.
Yeah. So let's go back just a little bit. I think we skipped over how this kind of came about. So like,
Sure.
when did this kind of start, and how long has this been in the works?
So last year, one
Hmm.
of the people, Aram, who puts on the event, he
Yeah.
reached out and we shot around some dates, and I wasn't able to make it work last year.
Hmm.
Kind of out of sight, out of mind, forgot about it, and then I get a follow-up email from him towards the middle of June. It's like, hey, doing the event again this year. Would love to have you out.
Hmm.
And here's the dates. And so I looked at the dates. I was like, oh, this is, yeah, we could definitely do it. So making the arrangements for my parents to come and watch our kids. And
Yeah.
my wife was able to come, which was really fun to have her out there as well. So I, I guess kind of 2 years in the making, because the first time didn't really work out, but really, really happy that it was able to work out this time.
Yeah, man, it looked like it was fun. I just popped up a couple of images on the screen that people can see. And of course, if you are not following Andrew on Instagram, go and do it. AD Sneaks on Instagram. Go and check him out. Showcasing all of the photography that he put on display at this event, the Manila Sneaker Expo, which, I mean, looked like a great time. I really wish in Australia we had some more of these kind of events.
Right.
It was something that I love connecting with people in the sneaker community. Did it kind of feel like home a little bit? Like perhaps you were talking with people who had the same passion as you. Is that always something that you're looking forward to when you thought about going to this event?
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the beautiful things that I preach about sneakers is just their ability to bring people together. There's a commonality there,
Mm.
right? Like it breaks down any barriers or walls that you might have meeting or getting to know somebody. So
Yeah.
there's automatically an instant connection. And then being there in the Philippines, like I said before, the culture there, everyone's just
Hmm.
so like friendly and kind. So just interacting with everybody was awesome, whether it was over, shoes or,
Hmm.
someone recognizing some of the stuff that I'd done on Instagram or looking through. There was a lot of cool vintage clothing
Mm.
setups out there and a lot of cool local clothing brands
Yeah.
to Manila as well
Yeah.
that just super cool to talk to those people and just kind of, get to know them on their creative level, which was really fun.
Yeah, man. There's definitely a lot of cool vintage shops. That's one thing that when you just said that, I was like, yeah, I remember. I think I picked up like five things from vintage shops, and there was this one particular one, actually a little bit further north in a city up a bit further north called Baguio. It's actually known as like the vintage capital, vintage sneaker and vintage clothing capital of Southeast Asia. This one
Oh,
city, which
wow.
is like maybe 300,000 people. It's a very small, tight packed city, but man, we went to the vintage shopping area and it was packed. Like Levi's jeans for days. I picked up like three pairs, two pairs of sneakers, and it was, I think there's over 1,000 vintage stores in like this one
Oh my
city of
God.
300,000 people. It's crazy. Like it's one of those, it was like a destination. Like there were lots of other tourists who were
Yeah.
there specifically for the vintage clothing. But then also in Manila, there's also a bunch. So they really do love that kind of, I suppose, secondhand recycling vintage markets, which is really cool. And there's, obviously there's good sneaker stores. Like you went and saw Mr. DJ Big Boy Cheng, one of the
Yeah.
biggest sneaker influencers, collectors, whatever you want to call him. He's a businessman as well. I saw his face everywhere in Manila. He's got like a mattress company. He's like an
Yep.
entrepreneur. What was it like meeting him and chatting with him and seeing his whole collection?
I mean, that was really cool because like I'd only seen him on like social media, YouTube and Instagram stuff before. And so you never know what like someone's going to be like in person versus like what you see online.
Yeah.
But we get to his house, and as soon as we get there, like he opens the door and he's just like happy to see us, comes, greets us, and he had lunch for us and all these things, just super generous and super like welcoming. And he's just a super down to earth guy.
Mm.
Like we chatted, like obviously I went through and saw all of his sneakers. I mean, we chatted about like everything aside from sneakers while we were there too. So we're able to
Yeah.
talk a lot of basketball, which we're both big basketball fans. So
Yeah.
that was really fun to be able to discuss some stuff over that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, his collection, you've seen YouTube videos of it. It's insane. I mean,
Hmm.
people say like, well, what does he have? What does he have? It's like, no, the question should be, what doesn't he have? Like he has pretty much everything that you can think of. I mean, unreleased like samples
Yeah.
and unreleased like PE versions of shoes. Like it was just insane to be able to just
Hmm.
hold some of these shoes that are just mythical, in
Hmm.
hand. And he's like, yeah, open up any of the things, like grab them, touch them, hold them, do what you want.
Yeah,
Just
man.
don't put them on.
Just don't put them on. You're probably not his size. Like I've seen.
We are the same size.
Oh, you are the
so I
same
asked him, I
size.
was like, what size are you? He's like, I'm a 10 and a half, 11. And I was
No
like,
way.
me too. So, you know.
Yeah, maybe I'll just take this, unreleased Off-White sample home. How about that? I'll just sneak it in. He won't notice. Man, it's
yeah, we were joking about that a little bit, and so
yeah.
that was funny.
That's wild, man. And I actually went to there's an area in Manila called Green Hills. I don't know if you know about that. It's like a big shopping district. It was a little bit further on the outskirts. And he has a couple of sneaker stores there. Like he actually owns a couple of stores, and we went in there, and man, there was like some legit like crazy grails in there, which I was just like, you're on a holiday, but man, the thought of maybe just like a little souvenir of something, maybe you can bring home. But I mean, they're still pretty expensive. Like it's not, you're not going to you're not going to Southeast Asia. A lot of people think like there's a misconception of it's just really all cheap stuff. It is cheaper, but it's not cheap.
Yes.
So
that's what we noticed too. Is like, I mean, food was cheaper than over here in the United States, and we noticed the biggest difference that my wife and I joked about was in the airport. Like going here, we bought a bottle of water in the airport here in Utah. It was like $9 for like 2 liters, right? And then you get it in Manila on the way out, and it was less than a US dollar. And I'm like, what? Like, for water? Come on, come on, let's get that figured out.
One of the biggest things that shocked me was that in every single like 7-Eleven or petrol station or whatever, you can just buy alcohol. Like that's
it was just there.
That to me is crazy because in Australia you can't do that. You have to go into a specific place, and it's often attached to grocery stores, but it's a separate building. You can just buy it in the grocery store. Like you can just buy it in the 7-Eleven. Like this is crazy. Like I can see why, and it's also super cheap. There's like the one beer that my grandpa or my grandpa-in-law, they call him Lolo. Someone's going to hate my accent. He drinks this thing called Red Horse, and Red Horse is like the biggest beer. It's made by San Miguel. I think it's made by San Miguel, which is one of the biggest manufacturers of beer, and it's like legitimately a huge bottle for like 50 cents Australian. Like, and they just drink it every night, and it's crazy how kind of the differences in prices of stuff. So we also went and saw a lot of cool like food stores as well. You mentioned the food. Was there anything that really stood out to you and kind of something that you might take home?
So we didn't get to venture out too much because so the hotel we were at was also attached to the convention center where the event was, and then next to that was a mall that we were able to go to. So we went in the mall and tried a few things. And then there at the hotel, they also had some Filipino food as well, which was really good. Yeah. But when we were at Big Boy's house, he gave us some Jollibee, which is their like local fast food, which it was good. And then he cooked us some rice and some chicken, and I don't remember the name of the dish, but I mean, just delicious food. Yeah. I don't think that there was anything that we tried out there that wasn't good. Like we didn't try like, what's the dish called that has like the duck? Like
it's called balut. It's not it's really just a standalone kind of street food that people get. And I actually saw a few, but I wasn't like pressured. Like some people were like, "Oh, you've got to try it," and I was like, "No, there's no way."
Well, when I asked what it was, they're like, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not happening."
No, I'm not doing it. There's so many other things. I mean, for example, there's something called sisig, which is like a chopped up pork, but it's pork from the head, the ears, the snout of the pig. So it's a cut. It's a cut you wouldn't usually get. Like pork is like the biggest meat that's consumed in the Philippines, and sisig is kind of the offcuts, but they chop it up so fine and mix it with so many herbs and sauces that you don't really kind of notice the off kind of interesting kind of texture or taste of it. Not that you can really tell, but sisig is definitely one of my favorites. That was one that I discovered over there. I also developed a love for ube. I don't know if you saw much.
Yeah, ube is so good. They had a shaved ice place that we went to a couple times that had like ube and like all these other things. I mean, it was just a huge thing of shave ice. My wife and I couldn't finish it together. So I mean, it was so good though.
Yeah, I think I definitely put on like at least 2 or 3 kilos just from it, and and oftentimes because it's so hot, you don't want to walk. too
Mm-hmm.
much. So you kind of have to take, the taxis or the local kind of ferries or stuff like that. And so you don't really exercise that much, but you're eating a lot, and it's kind of a mixture of, a recurring cycle of putting on weight and eating and all that. So,
Yeah.
man, it's a time. It's definitely exciting, and it's everything hits you all at once. I suppose one of the biggest things is traffic. Did you notice any
Mm-hmm.
sort of, crazy traffic jams? I mean, to them it's not crazy, but to me, it took me aback a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you see all these people on their like little moped scooters and motorcycles just,
Hmm. Yep.
bobbing and weaving in and out of traffic, and everything's just compact. But it's like that was normal to them. Like no one seemed flustered. It was
Hmm.
just very like, oh, this is just a normal drive.
Yep, man. And sometimes some of the turns that the taxi drivers or something would take,
Oh
or just
man.
going into traffic, like there's legitimately the traffic's just going, like flowing, and he just cuts into it and just goes straight through, and they just stop, and it's just like normal, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? And the traffic
Yeah.
lights, and it was just a bit. That was one of the biggest culture shocks, kind of the food and the traffic and just the people, busyness everywhere. You're from somewhat of a remote part of America, like, what you're not remote, but you're in an area that is not
Yeah.
incredibly populated. Was that kind of just people everywhere all the time a bit of shock to you as well?
A little bit. I mean, where we're at's not crazy populated, but there's a decent amount of people here. But I kind of expected it. So before we went, I was just like looking up stuff with Manila. Like I knew Manila was huge.
Hmm.
It's bigger than New York City by a long shot.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was gonna be a lot of people. I just didn't know it was gonna be so compact. And
Yeah.
there's just like there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, man.
But it was cool. I think it was really like it's a beautiful city. It was really cool just to take it in. Again, I wish we could have stayed
Yeah.
longer and been able to experience it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the area you went was like the SM Mall, the Mall of Asia. SM's like
Mhm.
got malls everywhere throughout the Philippines. Like they're one of the biggest. Malls are huge in the Philippines. If people didn't know, like the malls are like where people go to hang out because it's indoors, it's air conditioned. So malls are huge. SM Mall of Asia, where you were, where this Manila Expo was, is the biggest one, and it must have taken you a little bit aback as to how big this place actually is.
Yeah, it was, and that was the crazy thing too, because they said, yeah, everyone hangs out in malls. It's like there's a mall, there's a mall, there's a mall, there's a mall. There's
Hmm.
like malls everywhere, and it was. I mean, I there's not really any humongous malls like
Hmm.
that I've been to here in the
Yeah.
States. So that was really cool to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah. And did people kind of, I know you were there for a reason, but did people kind
Right.
of take you in their stride? Like they were just like, oh yeah, just like some real tall white guy just walking around. Because to me, it felt like everyone was staring at me being,
Yeah.
just the tall, pale white guy. And did it feel like you were a little bit of a sticking out like a sore thumb?
A little bit. So yeah, my wife and I together, right? Like
Yeah.
two white people that
Yeah.
like she's not super tall, but like I'm 6'2", 6'3". So
Hmm.
like this tall white guy walking around with his,
Yeah.
his white wife, and it was just you'd get stares and stuff. And
Hmm.
then it was funny because I had there was like a couple of kids that happened multiple times that would come up to my wife like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty. And it's like, oh, thank you. Like again, like
Yeah.
everyone's so friendly and so kind there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it looked a little bit different with me because my wife is Filipino. She,
Yeah.
she she looks Filipino, so it's like some people just thought I was there by myself because they were like, who are you here with? And then here she is, and they're like, oh, okay, you're one of those guys. You come here for the, to get. But there definitely was some people like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. There was definitely some people like that I saw, but I am not one of those. We met in Australia where it's all above board. We're all good. There was definitely a lot of things that took me by surprise as well. One of them was kind of how not dirty everything is, but how everything kind of works simultaneously. Did you see any of that? I know you stayed kind of in the middle, but I kind of went a little bit further out to some people's houses, and there's just this symbiosis, if you know what I mean. There's just this like
Yeah.
everyone does things and it all just kind of works together. And yes, things aren't perfect, and yes, things aren't incredibly like clean and first world some places, but it all just kind of works together. Did you notice any of that?
Yeah, I did. Like you notice like some parts, like you said, that are like first world, like, you know,
Yeah.
top tier, like structures and malls and things like that. And then you see some, more third world parts of the city. And, just the contrast between both. But like you said, it just all kind of fits together
Mhm.
harmoniously in its own way.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I know it kind of is the same in other parts of Southeast Asia, like, and it just kind of works, and it's amazing, and it's like a big hive, and it's just like everything works, and it was one of the things that I was fascinated about, and I'd love to go back, explore some more. I'm sure that you would like to go back one day
Absolutely.
and explore some more places, because yes, the Manila is a great microcosm of the Philippines, but there is so much more to see. It's they've got over 7,000 islands, and you can do like
Yeah.
island hopping tours and, go to the beaches and the waters and all that sort of thing. But man, it looked like a great time, as you saw by some of the images which I was popping up here. You and your wife having a little bit of, was that actually at the sneaker event there?
So that is actually at one of Big Boy Cheng's stores. So he
Right.
owns a clothing brand and kind of boutique called Secret Fresh.
Yeah.
So streetwear and stuff. And in there, he also has a gallery for local artists, like street artists and stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So we got
Nice.
to go in there and see some stuff. And we were able to like pick up some of the clothing from his store because, it's always cool to pick up that kind of stuff when you're there.
Yeah,
And
man.
then just some of the stuff that he had in the store was cool. He had, I think one of those pictures was like the Supreme Ducati collaboration. It's like, what? Like, I didn't know people actually own that thing. So that was
That
cool
was
to
the
see.
art. Was that the art? That's the art in
Yeah,
the
that's
Secret
that's
Fresh.
some of the art that was in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Yeah,
yeah, he'll open it up for
there it is, the Ducati.
yeah, that thing was crazy to just see in person, right? It's like that's the Supreme Ducati. It's like seeing a Ducati is cool in and of itself, but then seeing the one that they did with Supreme, it's like what?
Yeah.
And then outside of the store, he also had the Supreme, what's it called? The fifth wheel, the camper that you tow behind a car.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
has the
Is it
Supreme
Caravan?
stamp.
Is
Yeah,
that,
this
yeah.
had the Supreme stamp on the side. You open the door and
Yeah.
you got in, and it's like the leather seats are all embroidered with Supreme stuff. I was like, this is crazy.
Far out, man. That's crazy. I wonder if I often do wonder if he paid for all that stuff, or he probably just gets given a lot of it, or is kind
No,
of
he paid
collects it.
for it. Like we asked him about it, yeah, and he's like, yeah, the getting it here shipping was quite the feat. So they had to build like a custom crate and all this stuff
Whoa.
to ship it, and then a truck to drop it off. He's like, yeah, it was a big ordeal.
Wow. Far out, man. Seems like such a time. And I think I just wanted to ask a couple more questions actually about
Sure.
the sneaker event. Like, what was your role there? Like, did you do some speaking? Did you do some workshops? Anything like that?
So yeah, they what they had there is they invited me just as kind of a special guest, right?
Yeah.
So I was up on stage for a little bit, did a little Q&A with the crowd and stuff there, so I was able to answer some questions there. And then in part of the venue, they had printed, which was so cool for me to see,
Hmm.
like this big display of like a bunch of pictures that I had taken with me right there and a little like write up, and I was like, wow, I feel really important. It was really cool. Like something that I like any artist, it's cool to experience and see your art in a physical way. Like, yeah, right there. And so I was down there, and there were people that, coming up to say hi and take
Hmm.
pictures and just,
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Yeah, man, it looks sick, and I think I spoke to a couple of people who actually went to the event. I think his name's on Instagram. His name's Rural Icarus. If you want to check him out, spelled like it
Okay.
sounds. He posted a photo, being with you. I know you met like tons of people, so I'm not expecting you to know who it was. But he said he kind of backed up what you said, where it was just like a cool event. Like it had so much going on and so much like community feel, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And I saw there was also some like cool activations, like there was music events and all that. Like, how would you describe the overall event to someone who's kind of never gone to a sneaker event or this sneaker
Um,
event?
So one thing that I told the guys who organize it out there, like I've been to a couple sneaker cons and
Hmm.
got souls and stuff here in the States, and those are cool. But it's kind of they're more mellow than they were over there. Over there was
Hmm.
like tons of people, like great music. Everybody was into the music. They had local food vendors, and it just I don't know, everything just felt more like a community there
Hmm.
at that event, and more than it feels like a community at the events that I've been here in the States. So everyone was just very like tight knit,
Hmm.
and just there was just an atmosphere in the building that like everybody was excited to be there. Yeah, people were trying to like sell stuff and resell their stuff, but that's not what the main like reason of the event was,
Hmm.
right? It was just to connect with people and to get together and and just have a good time. And that's what it was. Like it was honestly the best sneaker event that I've been to in a long time.
Nice, man. It's something that I was looking at it from afar, and I was just like, man, I kind of wish that the stars had aligned and I had been able to get there kind of at the same time. Like, you know, obviously being overseas, it's hard to get places, and you know,
Yeah.
things are expensive. But I think that's one of the things that I would recommend, you know, going and checking out. If you were ever thinking about going to Manila, try and time it up. And you're into sneakers, try and time it up with some sort of expo or event, because they definitely know how to put on events. Like that's one of the things that Filipinos love to do: birthday parties, weddings, you know, anniversaries, anything, any excuse to kind of get together. That's one of the things that I've noticed being a part of a Filipino community through my in-laws and wife, is that they love just being together. And as someone who didn't quite grow up like that, it's kind of a little bit of a shock. But, you know, over time, I think I'm getting used to it and enjoying it more, because it's definitely, you feel the love. And even from people that I didn't know, like my wife's cousins, they're like, "Oh, Harry," like, you know, they call you Kuya, which is like your older brother. That's kind of the language, and I was just like, I became Kuya Harry, like, or Uncle Harry, that sort of thing, just instantly. So that sort of thing is really nice, and no, I definitely making me want to go back, seeing all these images. Was there, I suppose, one more question about sneakers? Was there one more sneaker that you just looked at and you were like, damn, that's incredible, that's a grail, let alone DJ Big Boy Cheng, or even at the Manila Expo, was there one that just kind of, wow?
I mean, at Big Boy's house, like it was just crazy holding the stuff that he had. Like he had every Louis Vuitton Air Force, every single one. So
Yeah.
got to pick up and hold all those. He had the original Tokyo Fives. I was able to hold those. He had like
Yeah.
the Paris Nike SB Dunks. He had the Pigeon SB Dunks. He had the London SB Dunks.
Yeah.
Like any SB Dunk, like it was just an overload of just grail and heat, just that you're able to just hold in your hand, and you're just like, man. And then he had like all of the university PE Jordan 4s, the ones that have a little like crystal ball like in the Jumpman logo. He has every single one of those. And I mean, just nuts, like absolutely nuts. The thing that was interesting though about being out there, because I was asking some of the guys who were putting it on, that own some of their like resale shops and stuff, and they're like, yeah, no one buys Jordans anymore. Everyone here, like the way that we make our money here is by on cloud. So everybody like is super into on cloud shoes, which that came as a surprise to me, because it's big here in the States, but like I don't own on cloud. I don't see a lot of people wearing on cloud, but over there, like everyone was wearing on cloud.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my questions. You stole the thought out of my mind. I was saying that there was so much Asics shoes, on cloud shoes, Crocs. Every mall we went to, we literally, like we spoke about it, there's malls everywhere, and every mall that we went to had a big Crocs store. Like Crocs are huge in the Philippines, and yeah, on cloud really big. Anta had a bunch of presence there as well. Bunch of sneaker stores there. You know, obviously the Nike, Adidas stores as well. Not a huge amount of like New Balance stores was something that kind of was interesting to me. I did see a lot of people still wearing New Balance, but yeah, the on cloud thing was wild. And we actually went and bought like some on cloud shoes, because that's what my auntie wanted. Like for that's they're desired. You know, that's how much people actually really want them, rather than a pair of Jordans, because they, you know, you got to walk around a lot. It's hot. Jordans, you know, sometimes don't really work very well when it's a hot climate. So, man, it's definitely something that was eye-opening to me. That's really cool to see. Were there any sort of, I suppose, fits with those on clouds that you were like, I might think about buying one of those now?
No, I didn't see any that was like, okay, I'm gonna buy some on clouds. I think personally the only reason I'd buy on clouds is if my running or walking shoes like died, that I walk my dog in every day, then I'd be like, oh, maybe I'll try some on clouds. I'm just haven't quite got to the point where I'm like, yeah, I think I could pull off a pair of on clouds.
Yeah. It's interesting why, I suppose from your perspective, why do you think they haven't quite gone over to that, I suppose, sneakerhead crossover yet? Because there's tons of walking shoes or running shoes that have had that crossover. Why do you think it is that on cloud hasn't quite done that yet?
I think it's because it's a new brand, and I really feel like there's no tie to that, like their brand ethos. Like you see New Balance has caught on, but New Balance has been here for a while. So is Asics, and so is Saucony, and you know, all these running shoe brands that we see. So people have had those or have memories of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those brands have done a good job of pushing those kind of vintage runners
Mm-hmm.
to the market. When you look at On Clouds, it's completely different from those, in my opinion, the way it looks. It's just a completely different shoe. So it's like a lot of what Saucony and New Balance and Asics are succeeding at is bringing back old pairs that they had, forever ago. It's a vintage retro runner.
Yeah.
On Cloud doesn't have vintage
Yeah.
retro because they're new. So they're still trying to figure things out.
Yeah, gotcha. No, that makes sense. And here in Australia, speaking from personal experience, OnCloud is still pretty big, but usually with the older kind of generation and people who actually use them for like fit for purpose, like walking a lot,
Right.
running a lot. And someone is going to point out that yes, OnCloud has had collaborations with fashion brands like Post Archive Faction and such like that. They have had that sort of crossover a little bit, but it's not as big as Asics and New Balance and such. But clearly in Southeast Asia, Philippines, it's everywhere. Like it's really big. And I think I actually saw like literally just this morning, Mr. Aaron Diaz, big puppy himself, literally posted a video saying, sneakerheads are not the driving force of brands. A lot of the time it's the middle market. It's the people who are buying,
Correct.
a $60, $70 shoe. And kind of those are the ones that Nike or brands put a lot of focus into. Yes, they care about sneakerheads and putting out collaborations, but it's really those markets that drive it. And you can really see that when you go to Southeast Asia and Philippines,
Absolutely. And, even here in the States, you see it with On Cloud because it's not the sneakerheads that are wearing On Cloud. It's just like people want a comfortable shoe, maybe an alternative to like Hoka or something.
Yeah.
And so they'll pick up those and they're comfortable. And so they'll wear them.
Yeah. There's definitely a bit of surprise when people say I have like a sneaker podcast or do sneaker like Instagram. They're like, oh, really? There's stuff about sneakers. I'm sure you still get that a little bit. Like, there's people like, oh, I just go to the shops and I just buy what kind of looks cool. They don't necessarily care about the comfort or the tech or the branding or the story. But I suppose that's where we are in that space where we're getting really deep and into the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? But it's great.
We'll nerd out about that stuff.
For sure, man. And that's why these sneaker events exist. I suppose to bring it full circle, this sneaker event in Manila is kind of that bringing together of people who care that much about sneakers. And it's awesome to see that they invested in you and bringing someone from America over to the Philippines. I'm sure they could have gotten someone from the Philippines, but man, they obviously saw value in what you're doing. And they put it out and they showcased you in that really kind of big event. So, and it's great to see, a whole community, a worldwide community. I'm from Australia. It's literally 15, 16 hours difference between us and we can chat about sneakers. So I think that's one of the great things about sneakers. And I really appreciate you coming on to this little emergency podcast. Just wanted to quickly chat about all of the experiences that you had. And I really do appreciate you giving me some of your time. I know we had some computer issues that we powered through, man. I mean, you don't have to get into it, but man, it's been a privilege talking to you again, Andy. Was there any kind of, I suppose, lasting thoughts about the Philippines before we head off? Anything that kind of stuck out to you, and I guess a message to anyone from that event that might be watching this?
Yeah, I mean, message to anyone there. I mean, first of all, thank you, Ron, Aram, DJ Big Boy, everyone who had me out and helped me feel like super welcome there. And like I know I've said it a lot, but just the people out there are just so like genuine and welcoming and kind, and they just make you feel like just, I don't know, like you're one of them. And that was really, really surprising and really awesome at the same time. And it was just cool for me, again, because I'm in my own little bubble here in the US and in Utah, to get outside of that bubble and to meet people from another place in the world. And just a lot of these people knew who I was, which was mind blowing to me in and of itself. So being able to make those in-person connections was really cool. And it's just a reminder that, like, yeah, we see all these things online and sneakers, and that's cool and awesome. But being able to connect outside of that, like in real life, in person, that's what community is all about. And being able to make those connections in person is awesome.
Yeah. Nice, man. It looked like a fun time, and yeah, really do appreciate you again jumping on and chatting about all of this. Of course, I have a vested interest being recently gone to the Philippines, having a connection with family and such. So I really wanted to get your take on all of it, and I really do appreciate you coming on and chatting about it, man. So thank you so much to everybody for watching. I know this was a bit of a shorter one. We will be back next week with another podcast, another special guest who you may or may not already know. We might have a returning guest, we might have a new one. You'll just have to wait next week to come and check it out. Please like and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching this for all the visual aspects. Podcast, Apple, Spotify, we're on there as well. So leave us a rating. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Have a good day.